I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around today if you were here from our previous episode earlier today. But we are discussing episode 6, which takes a deep look into Sim, which is a character that we have grown to love on our panel. But of course, after discussing this, I could not do this alone. I have my gorgeous panelists with me. Our Damien Chazelle, #1 fan and extraordinaire, Allie James, is joining us. Hello, Allie.
Hello. I'm so excited to talk about this episode. I love Sim.
We also have our music enthusiast and lover, Sanaa Moore. Hello.
Hi, everyone. This episode was pretty cool. I actually am starting to really like Julie.
Ooh. Okay,
Same.
that's
She's
different.
on my good
So
list
yes,
for this episode.
This episode, we looked at Sims. We got a deeper look into Julie, and we're also, again, as we always are, finding more about this investigation with the police and the gangsters that we're still trying to piece together. We also have some news and a great special segment at the end of the episode, so definitely stick around for that. But before we jump into these topics, please, you guys, tell me your overall thoughts of this episode. Allie, what was going through your head?
Yeah. In the beginning, I feel like I was a little disconnected. I was trying to figure out what was going on. And then we saw the part with Sim dancing with his grandma. So cute. And then the grandma started coughing. I was like, oh no, my goodness. So now we know that the grandma's sick, and that broke my heart. Overall, though, I think this is definitely one of my favorite episodes because I love Sim. Have from the very beginning. We saw Julie finally kind of be fun and carefree with him, and now they kissed. I don't know. It was a great episode overall, I thought.
So now it was going through your mind?
Same. I think we got to see a different side of Julie this time, and I really like that because a lot of times she was showing herself this entire season, and now we get to see a different side of her, which I really like.
Yeah, I completely agree. This was one of my favorite episodes. I feel like everything started to kind of come together. I mean, we've seen everyone's individual stories, but now we get to see how they fit into this bigger puzzle that we're looking at. And I think at first we were kind of missing that. We was like, okay, how does this relate to anything that's going on? And this episode was like, this is how it relates. So it was definitely well. But let's really dive into Sim and his character. We see him dancing with his with his grandmother, and then she starts to cough, and then we're later informed that his grandmother has cancer for the second time. What did you guys feel about this heartwarming moment? Like, I know for me, I was like, no, like, I've only seen it like one time during the show. I was like, please, no. So now, what'd you think?
Yes, the whole time, same. I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like his grandma. And, grandmamas are, hold a special part in, I think, everyone's lives because they're the glue. They're the ones who, you can rely on. They're really your best friends. So I was kind of sad.
Allie, how did you feel watching it?
Yeah, definitely sad. We already knew Sim was close with his grandma, but I think this episode just showed how important his grandma really is to him. And I loved seeing that. Their dancing moment was adorable. And the fact that she got to hear him sing at the end, I was just cheesing the whole time, like smiling so big. It was adorable.
Yes. And we also see that Sim's grandmother actually favors Julie. Like, she likes having her around. They seem to get along. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. When Julie was first at the house, I was like, I know she's not going to ask to stay on this lady couch. I know she is not couch surfing this bad. Like, if you don't take your behind home. But then it was revealed that she was actually there waiting for Sim to tell him about his song. Sim was like, what are you doing here? And basically tells her to leave at first. And then we figure out that Sim is trying to gain some money to send his grandmother to Mecca. So there was a lot going on here. There were a lot of plans that didn't really work out. When you guys first saw that he needed the money, how did y'all think that he was going to go about getting it, Sanaa?
I thought he was going to, do it the way in a different way. Maybe not the most legal way, but I thought he was going to take it into his own hands. I thought he was doing some maybe some little scam, just a little illegal stuff. I thought he was just doing that or just going to try to work really hard to get the money or maybe borrow it from someone. Like, that's how I
Mhm.
felt at first when he said he needed money. I'm like, oh no, it's either one of three things. He's gonna really try to work hard on this dang on cart that he pushes every day, or he's gonna like, work a deal out with somebody and try to like really get the money he needs, which he did try, or
Mhm.
get it the other lifestyle, go hit up the Serbian.
Yeah. Now his first thought was to go to the charity that had been robbed and try to find their equipment in some way and kind of get them to pay him instead of donating the money to wherever it was going to go. Allie, when you first heard about this plan, did you think that he was trying to scam them? Did you think it was kind of a rational way to try to do it? Like, what did you think about this initial plan that he had to get the money?
I don't think it was the most rational plan. But I think in the moment he was just so desperate to kind of do anything. I don't think he really thought it through. But I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was going to do anything too crazy, or because at the end of the day, we know that Sim is a really good guy. Like at the end of the day, he's a very follow the rules. He's very respectable towards Julie. Like he's a good kid. I kind of would have liked to have seen him maybe be more open about it up front, like tell Julie what's going on, or like talk about it with people, because sometimes being honest and sharing and opening up can help you, or someone else may have an idea. Like Julie had the idea to go to the school, which was a super cute scene. So yeah, but maybe if he just picked up some extra shifts, I don't know, worked for the money, but overall, do what you got to do, I guess, in that situation.
Now it's funny that you said that he probably should have told Julie, because my first thing was like, Julie, if you don't take your behind home, you are barking up the wrong tree. Like, I always think that Julie is inserting herself where it doesn't, like where she doesn't need to be, because I kind of felt like, Sim didn't really know how he was going to get the money. He knew that there would possibly be like maybe some like illegal things going on, maybe some danger, maybe some harm. And I feel like when he was telling her to go home, like he genuinely didn't want her to get hurt and didn't want her to be involved in anything shady that he had going on. And here she goes following him, not following directions. And my thing is like, what if either one of these plans could have went super south? Like they already failed, but what if somebody got hurt? You know what I mean? And now you're here and now you're involved when you could have just taken your behind home like you should have been. I don't know. But that he tries to work through this plan of finding the equipment, and he goes to Mr. Connected or Mr. Connect, which is somebody who I think sells like stolen things and resells them to people in the community. And the guy basically tells him that he has to do something for him. So he gives him this box. He has to carry it on his cart and deliver it to someone. Now, when they were walking, when Julie finally met up with them and she's convinced that she's going to walk with him and she's not budging. How did you guys feel when she opened the box? Please, I have to know how y'all felt about her opening this daggone box. Yes, Dana, please tell me.
Freaking set, because when someone wants to be left alone, leave them alone. But in this case, I guess she was just trying to help. She just wanted to be there. Maybe if he said don't look in the box, why are you looking in the box? That's an invasion of privacy, because if someone looked in Julie's box that she had, she would just be throwing that F-bomb every freaking where, okay? So
sure.
I just wanted her to listen to the directions. And what if in that box was a deadly snake and you touched it?
Mm-hmm.
And you let the snake go, and that was probably all the money that he needed. I mean, I'm reaching right now, but I'm just saying, But then the other part of me, is starting to really like her. And I think she just wanted to be a good friend and watch out for him, because he watched out for her that night when she was drunk and tried looking for him. So I think she just wanted to repay him and just be there for him. Because remember, she tried to give him money. He was like, no, which in this case, I bet he wish he would have took.
Oh, yeah.
And
wow.
and then now, she just knows, which is the rule throughout life. When you apologize for something, that's cool, but change behavior is the real apology. So I think that's what she was trying to do, is really show him like, no, I want to be here for you as my boo thing that you just don't know that you are yet, but you are in my mind, as well as my friend above all else.
Yeah.
Allie, when she opened up the box, saw what was in it, and then realized the police was right behind her, were you yelling at the TV or what was going on?
Oh my gosh, that whole scene stressed me out. Yeah, Julie does not know how to listen. You tell her to do something, she's going to do the complete opposite. We've seen that from her throughout the entire show so far.
He should have told her, open the box.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly. Yeah. And then when she did open it and it was a gun, I was shocked that Sim said he didn't know that it was a gun. That's when I was like, oh, okay, he's actually not doing any, like he isn't trying to be all shady and do like dirty work. Which I was like, okay, good job, Sim. But then when the cops were there, I panicked. I thought for sure that they were pulling them over, and that they might have checked the box or like looked inside of it. And then I was like, they're gonna get arrested. It was just stressful. Ugh.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, y'all, okay, moral compass aside, like not what I would do. I do not condone anything illegal. But a part of me, like I didn't think that Sim knew what was in the box, but a part of me felt like, okay, whatever's in the box, like my job is to solely get it from point A to point B. I don't really care what's in the box. I just want to get paid for it, delivering it. And I honestly felt like he could have gotten the job done because Sim wasn't going to open up the box. Like we saw, he had no interest in opening up the box. And when Julie opened it, my initial thought, I didn't really think that she was like trying to help. Like I didn't think that she was so concerned that something illegal was in the box and that's why she went to open it. If I'm being honest, I really just felt like she was being nosy and just wanted to know, and she was irritated that he wasn't, telling her everything. And I think you just see Julie just like sticking her nose, just wanted to know stuff that has nothing to do with her. So at first I was low key mad. And granted, like I said, moral compass aside, like I didn't want him to get into anything illegal in the first place, but I was just kind of like, this could have been his only way to get the money. You know what I mean? Like and he didn't even know what was in it. He didn't have to like get his morals involved in it if he didn't open the box. And here you are just kind of jeopardizing that for your own good. Like it wasn't really to protect him. It was just because you wanted to know and you felt like he should have told you. And so that really bothered me. But after she opens up the box and Sim is kind of like, I'm not with it. Now, before we go to this next plan, I have to hear what you guys thought about when he went back to Mr. Connected in the parking lot and they had that little exchange. What did y'all think was going to happen? So now, like, did you think that was going to end well?
No. I thought somebody was going to end up dead. Like, I thought they might as well have just cut the episode right then and there, because I was like, oh my God, is somebody really going to die again?
I know.
Because I mean, for real, we already experienced that. So I'm like, oh my freaking goodness. At that point, I'm like, use us in the box.
I know, because it was right there. And then we just see Sim turn around and slowly walk away. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to get shot in the back. Like, I was just waiting for the worst. Oh.
Yeah, I think if we've learned anything from any movie involving a gun is that you never turn your back on someone who has a gun. And so I definitely thought, because it was, like you guys said, it was in the box. It was close to Mr. Connected. And when he turned around and didn't start sprinting, I was like, this is the end. It's like, we're never going to see Sim again. This is it. But it was nice to see that he made it out. I kind of felt like, okay, I don't know which one I believe more, because a part of me feels like it was more realistic if he got shot in the back, because that little
girl, Toree.
I'm sorry, but that was like a heated. That got heated. They were fighting. You know what I mean? Mr. Connected was not too happy about it. He didn't lost money because Sim didn't want to take it to whoever he was supposed to take it to. Like, Nelson, don't get on me because you watch Power, so I know you know how this would have ended if this was Power.
Yeah, Tommy would.
Exactly. Sim wouldn't have walked out of nowhere alive. So I just have like, I think the worst because Power has, influenced me that way. But Sim was able to come out alive. And then Julie has this great idea to go to the school that she doesn't go to any other time to get the equipment for Sim. So they want to go. Now, I'm not even going to say they. It's really Julie's idea. She wants to go to the school, get the equipment, let them use it for the night for whatever, and then return it. Y'all, as soon as they get to the daggone school, they have Saturday class. What did you think when they walked in and they were like, everybody was still there?
Hey, I have a couple things, guys. Number one, how are y'all gonna carry all this stuff out without people knowing that you were stealing? Let's say Saturday school didn't exist, right? How were you going to take? I mean, where was the U-Haul?
Yeah.
Where was the truck? I mean, where was it that you were going? You were gonna walk. You were gonna take your car. I mean, like, I just didn't understand the follow-through plan of it. Second of all, this boy doesn't have on a uniform. How is he walking through the school freely? Third of all, I don't think you might get on me for this, but I don't think getting expelled from school was necessary. I don't think it was that deep. But they didn't even leave. They didn't even leave with it.
Allie, do you think her getting expelled was too harsh or just the right punishment?
You know, I think I feel like if it was a public school, it would have been like not a huge deal, but because it's a private school, and like I don't know, and because she's already been in so much trouble with them, I think that they're just strict. Like I feel like private schools made to be stricter. So I mean, they did technically break in. I guess. And they didn't do anything wrong. Like he was
That's
just
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't think it was necessary.
I mean, yes, they didn't make it out of the school, so all this was really for nothing, which sucks. Yeah. But I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like the only reason why I don't want to say that her getting expelled was too harsh. I mean, wasn't too harsh because I'm sorry, my words are like mixed up. Anyway, I wanted her to stay in the school because I want her to like actually realize that school is important. And now that she's expelled, like she doesn't get that opportunity. So a part of me is like, dang, I didn't want you to get expelled. The other part of me is like, you are really testing your luck. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but like I went to an arts high school and I can only imagine all of us decided, okay, well, if you decided to take, I don't know, like a guitar, a bass, a cello, a keyboard, and a flute, do you think your school would have just been like, you know what, Sanaa, it's all right?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, to be honest, they probably would have just gave me an in-school suspension
for
about. They probably would have did in school for about a whole month.
Let's look at her track record, though. This isn't now. That would be great because for now I'm already getting vibes that you didn't really have that many offenses, and this is probably like a one-time thing if you was to get caught. But this is not. We're thinking about Julie. Now imagine if you did this at your school and you already was on the verge of getting kicked out once. You still don't go to school after that. Like, let's really set the scene, and then tell me if you think your school would have just been like, you know what, Sanaa, kids will be kids.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking they could have given her in school for a whole. Have you been in school suspension before? Like that? I
have not.
That is not. First of all, it was still a public school, but we got milk. I think like the peanut butter and jelly like bar, and that's it. Like it was on like that. That's it. Okay, it felt like it. I don't want to say jail. But it definitely felt very constricted. You couldn't do nothing, okay?
Well, you have to go to school in order to participate in school suspension.
True.
So it's probably like, well, we know you're not gonna come anyway, so we go.
Exactly.
It's like I think it's like if you didn't, it's something like this. Like if you missed like at least 3, or if you didn't go to your in-school suspension, then you're suspended. Then you can do that at home.
She suspended herself, Sanaa. She doesn't go.
True.
Okay, well, you know what? At this point, I just think they could have done. But expel, like that's just on her record forever. Like she can't even go to college once she gets it together. Yes, she can, but she can still go. But just to have expelled on your record, they could have said, "We dismiss you." Like, please leave.
They tried that already. And then, you know, her mom sent that cute little check and she was back. Your mom can't keep sending you checks, honey. They can't. But after she was expelled, we did see this like beautiful heart, like mini heart to heart moment with her and her dad. And you kind of I don't know about y'all, but I kind of felt like they started to see each other for who they were. Like it was definitely a like heartwarming, understanding moment. And it sucks that it had to come after she got expelled. But I think her dad started to see who she really is and like the things that she's struggling with and what she feels like she has to prove. And I also think that Julie realized, like you guys have been saying in the other episodes, how much her dad really cares and how he just wants the best for her. Like whatever that decision is, I just want you to do something and do well at it. And so that was just like a nice exchange. And even though at first I was like, the F-bombs, almost getting suspended, then getting suspended. Girl, don't talk to me for a minute. I'm sending you back to the Upper East Side, okay? Because you have
not
lost
the
your
Upper
mind.
East Side, girl.
She was getting on my nerves.
Go.
Like, you have done a number. But I think it was nice because I think you guys have said in previous episodes that she's in Paris to kind of figure it out. Like she's there to find herself, and it wouldn't be right. Like it would be all for a waste. It would all be a waste if she was just sent back to New York anyway. Like she wouldn't have really like grown or learned anything. So hopefully we can find her a different school to be in because this just didn't work out. But after this, we go back to the club. Now the club, y'all, this band can't get it together to save their daggone lives. Now that we've seen everybody's backstory for the most part, how are you guys feeling about the band, the club? Like, how are you guys just feeling about this whole thing? Do you think they should just give it up? Do you think everybody's really trying to make this work? Like, what are your thoughts now that we're this far in? Sana?
Well, first Elliot was emotional and said, it's a wrap. Then my favorite part when he said it was a wrap, that the band was over, and everyone's like, what? Like everyone's shocked, but then he realizes like, when Maya breaks it down to him that you can't talk to people like this and, let's figure this out. I didn't go on my whole, backup singing tour because not only for you being my boo thing, but also because I love the band and I want to be, like that's still a part of her. So, and then what did y'all think about when he said he want to split up the calls, talking about you can call this many people, I'll call this many people. Because I was like, boy, you could have called them all on your phone. Okay.
Exactly. I was definitely with Maya. I was like, you're not about to make this whole mess and say all these hurtful things and think that you can get around or tiptoe around apologizing. Like, that's not how this works. And I'm glad that Maya held him accountable because she was like, in the last episode, you said you was going to be better. So now this is your chance to be better. Allie, how did you feel? Because I was like,
Yeah, Maya saved the day again. I think the band has to stay together. I mean, even if they did say they lost the club, you can still have a band without the club. I think at the end of the day, the band and the music is kind of like the soul of the whole entire show. Without that, gosh, I don't know what these people would do without the club or the band. Like it's their life. So to hear that, I was like, okay, yeah, he's had a day. I mean, it was one day and he had to go pick up his daughter from the school that she just got expelled from. And he has to find this money by the end of the night. And then he's dealing with the band issues. So, I mean, I would probably say it's a wrap too, if I was Elliot and had just all of this going on at the time. But then once he kind of had a minute to think and Maya stepped in, we see him kind of reflect and he decides to do the right thing. I was happy to hear that he was going to call the cops. And yeah, but I'm glad. I loved this episode so much. The ending was so good. Like when they were all playing, played.
I'm sorry, Allie, but the whole calling the cops thing, I'm like, bro, do you not understand? They don't like you. Okay, the police does not like you. They're gonna blame you. They're gonna. I swear, they're gonna accuse you of this in some type of way. Don't call the cops.
But he didn't have the money. Like he needed the money by the end of the day, and then he didn't have it. So I would be terrified. I feel like that's kind of like he did everything he could, and the last like straw was okay, or he finally was like, I'll tell the cops because he had no other option really.
But then now what if the cops, spinning on him? I probably would have to tell the cops. If you blame me for this at this point, I don't even know a good threat. But like, something needs to give because he can't keep taking the blame for everything every time he goes to the cops. That's why when he said that, I'm like, you know, your track record with them isn't the greatest, right? They don't like you.
Exactly. But let's really dive into this. So like I said, I think the most consistent thing out of each episode is that we learn more about this investigation and kind of like move forward with it. Now he finally tells the entire band, you know, he says his apologies and XYZ. And he tells them what's been going on. Did you guys feel like he should have told them sooner, or that he was genuinely trying to protect them when he waited this long to tell them? Allie?
Sooner. The whole reason he fired Kat was because she was keeping secrets and because, well, she was a part of the whole deal. But yeah, because the band, that's like his family. They're very, very close. And they're also really loyal to each other. Usually you can tell they just have this bond. So I think it would have probably been just so he would have felt so much better if he just told them sooner. I really, really was disappointed in that choice that he made, but I was happy he still finally like let him in on everything that's been going on.
Yeah. So now what did you think about his timing?
I'm half and half with it because I understand he didn't want to tell them because he wanted to figure it out on his own. He wanted to really not let them worry because Lord knows this man has been worried to death. And I think he just wants to protect them and let them know, like, because the more they know, the more danger they might be in. And I think he was just trying to like have it more under control for himself. So then they don't have to like, you know, stress about it or, you know, get brought into this whole mess. But then I'm on the other side with Allie, and it's like, you know, maybe if you would have said something earlier, they could have helped you, or they could have been able to do something, or they could have, they probably known something or knew something was fishy. So they probably could have been able to say like, oh, okay, well, now that I think about it, this, and this, you know, was said or was done. So they could have maybe helped him.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think in the beginning, he was kind of like ignorance is bliss type of approach. Like if they don't know what's going on, they don't have to worry about it because he saw how it was like affecting him. I mean, he's been stressed since episode 1. The man hasn't gotten a break since then. So I think he was kind of like, okay, let me take on let me relieve them of this stress and just try to figure out by myself. But then you guys are totally right, because the same way that I think Katrina or Katarina, the drummer, knew some information, not saying that they were involved, but maybe they, like you said, so now, like maybe they were like, you know what, one day when I stayed a little bit longer, I did see Farid talking to such and such, or somebody gave me a phony $20 bill and I wasn't quite sure why it was in the club or something like that. Just kind of like piecing everything together, because even though Elliot doesn't have all the knowledge, I think they all could at least bring a different perspective and at least try to figure out, like, I mean, they might have even been able to figure out where the money was. I mean, I don't know, but like you guys said, I think there was more power in numbers, even if it meant that, like, even if they never figured it out, at least you've exhausted all your options. And now he's down to like 2 hours before the money is due, telling everybody what happened. Like, what do you think we're going to be able to do now? We can't do nothing. And also, if you are throwing things in my face, it's going to take a little bit more than a little apology on top of a bar table to get me back, because Elliot was not holding back, and he was definitely throwing some things in Jude's face and the other guy's face, and I was just like, ooh, I don't like that, because if we're supposed to be a family, like, come on, hold me accountable, yes, but don't throw that back in my face. So I was kind of surprised that everybody came back to the band the same day, because baby Toree holds grudges, and I was like, I'm just not, like, that's not it. But you guys, okay, so we get to that night. And did anybody else think that when he said, I'd like to invite somebody to perform, that he was going to perform after the band, or was that just me?
I thought he was going to say Julie. I thought it was going to be Sim. because like the whole song that he was talking about that he wrote for Julie. And then once Julie opened up to his dad and explained the whole grandma situation, I had a feeling, I thought at first they were going to do like not a charity, like, I don't know, they were going to try to raise money, maybe put up a tip jar or something, or maybe give the money that the club made that night, like, to his grandma. I thought they were going to do something like that. That was wishful thinking, but Yeah. I did think it was going to be Sim, but I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was just me because I just feel like everyone keeps hinting at how great Elliot was at whatever he used to do, and I'm like, we haven't been able to see it yet. Like, when are you guys going to
Yeah.
show us what he used to, do?
We want to
But
see him.
exactly. So Sim ends up performing, and he does the duet with Julie, which I thought was so sweet. And I didn't know our girl could sing, so that was
I
nice.
know.
Seeing
She's
that
so
we think that
talented.
there's going to
She's
be
amazing.
a happy ending, and the gangsters roll up and drop off this dead body. Now, what did you guys think when Elliot finally goes outside trying to do the right thing, and now he has another problem literally brought to his back door? Allie, how did you feel?
At first, I was really relieved that he died because I was scared he was going to come to kill Elliot. So then when he was dead, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, good. But then it hit me, or it came like, oh, the gang members did this. Then I started panicking because I thought that they were hiding and then they were going to attack Elliot next. So I definitely was shocked. And I wanted to see the next move. It left me on a little bit of on my edge of the seat this time because I wanted to know if he was still going to call the cops or if he was. I don't think we'll see next episode, but I don't think he called the cops. Do you guys?
Yeah. What is Sanaa? What do you think his next plan of action is now that he has this issue on his hands?
I think he's going to try, like Allie said, call the cops or tell the band and try to figure out a common ground of a plan.
I think so too. I think it's kind of like, let me think about this a little bit longer because there's a lot going on. But like Allie said, this was definitely a cliffhanger, and everyone at home will just have to come back to our next review at 10 o'clock to see what actually happened. But let's segue into our special segment. Allie, take it away.
Okay. Moonlight moment. What moment had you shocked? We kind of all just agreed the ending was definitely a lot. But another moment that kind of had me shocked or surprised was when I first heard the grandma coughing. I was just, that moment made me uncomfortable because I was so sad and I was like, no, don't be sick. And I thought at first she was dying. In that moment, I thought she was having a heart attack or something. So that whole thing caught me by surprise. But yeah, what moment for you guys?
It wasn't, I don't know, we didn't really talk about it too much, but you know how Julie was staying on Farid's wife's couch, I guess for like a night, and then she was like, girl, you gotta go. That part didn't surprise me, but I guess it's kind of strange to me that Farid's wife is just kind of like super uninvolved with what's going on. It just seems like every time Elliot comes to try to figure something out or kind of like explain what's going on, she's just super like, take that somewhere else. I don't know. Like, it just seems like she's been unhelpful throughout the series. And I'm kind of like, okay, like, I understand you need your time to grieve, but this is also your husband. And like, I thought you would want to know, like, try to piece together what was going on. And it just seems like she's very like unbothered, nonchalant about it. So that's kind of like throwing me off.
And the whole thing about when literally Julie was just chilling and she comes and says, you gotta leave between 6 and 9, or like 6 and you gotta come back at 9, or given like this weird thing of where no one can be in the house between a certain time. Yeah, that's what really made me question. That was the moment for me because I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, like what are you doing in the house to where I literally, this is like one of the very rare times Julie isn't messing with nobody. She's just chilling. And you tell her she can't be here and she paid? Excuse me.
Yeah.
That whole part was really questionable to me, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. And usually, you know, I'm an advocate for Julie taking her behind home, but it's just like the wife is just super weird. Like, this is the daughter of your lifelong friend. She was your tiny bridesmaid in your wedding, and it's just like you said, so now you have these weird rules to where I can't be in the house, but then you're not telling my dad where I'm in. Like, I'm just kind of like, where, like, are you trying to help me? Are you trying to just kick me out? Do you care what happens to me? Because it doesn't really seem like you do. It was just weird. It was really weird. But Sanaa, I know you have some interesting news about the series for us, so please share.
Yes. So about the show takes place in Paris. So
Mhm.
I decided to also find some quotes that are quotes said by some prominent people, some famous people that you guys know, and how they describe Paris. So
Ooh.
Audrey Hepburn
Yeah.
says Paris is always a good idea. So and a
Always.
lot of
I agree.
yeah, and when I was researching about Paris, they say, this is the place that you want to go, at least visit once. Like, this is your getaway place. And this is
Mhm.
the place that everybody should experience at least once. So that was pretty cool. And then Thomas Jefferson said, a walkabout Paris will provide lessons in history, beauty, and the point of life. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So there's,
Wow.
a lot of history around it. Beauty. I think it's also pretty cool, of showing Elliot being in Paris and other, Black, other cultures like Black culture, Middle Eastern, Spanish, like being able to see different cultures and
Mhm.
nationalities in Paris, showing how diverse it is too.
So
I
true.
agree. And they actually like kind of touch on diversity. I think the charity, it was something that flashed at the bottom of the screen when he went to the school or charity that was robbed, and it said something like there's power in diversity or something like that. So I definitely think that they're trying to like emphasize that, because I think sometimes in media, like we only see one version of Paris. And I like how this one is exploring and taking a different angle on that. So that was really cool that you brought that up. Before we close this off, I think we all know, like we discussed, that there was a cliffhanger at the end of this episode. So I definitely want to know what you think is going to happen in episode 7. I think it's episode 7. Yeah.
Yep.
Allie, what do you think?
I think we're gonna get some more of Kat. I'm pretty sure the next episode is her. So I think we're gonna see her come into play here. I don't know if Elliot's going to tell her or if she's just gonna show up. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I do think we're gonna see more of Kat. I kind of feel like they're not gonna tell the cops. They're gonna take it into their own hands and try to figure it out on their own, which will be
Allie's over
stressful.
it.
Yeah, I'm like, give me more Sam and Julie.
Yeah.
And hopefully more
So,
eventually for my
now,
prediction.
what do you think is going to happen in episode 7?
I think they are, like Ali said, they're going to take it into their own hands. And I think they're going to get a clue on where this money really is.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I
that'd be
definitely think
great.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you guys know, I predicted this whole storyline behind Kat in the last episode, and this wasn't even her episode. So now that I know that it's coming up, my predictions are pretty much the same. I think we're going to learn more about her, and I don't know, I feel like there's something deeper to her story. I really hope I'm right, because I think it'll be really entertaining to watch, just knowing like why she's never around or what affiliation she has to the bad guys. So I really want to know, and hopefully it answers a lot of our questions, because it will be the second to last episode. But I mean, we never know. But before we sign off, where can our viewers and listeners find you guys on social media? Allie, let them know.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexandra James.
Yes, and now where can they follow you?
Yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram at IM_SANA underscore, and then on Twitter at IM_SANA.
Yes, and you guys can find me on Instagram at Toxic Model or on Twitter at Toree with 2 E's. We are so thankful that you guys are sticking around, this late to hear us talk about this show. We are back right here at 10 o'clock. So we definitely want you guys to be part of the conversation. We want you guys listening and watching with us if you have time. If not, we're on YouTube. So go ahead and watch us tomorrow if this is past your bedtime. But we definitely hope that you guys stick around. Until next time at 10 p.m. We'll buzz you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.